$70,000 in the first year. Oh my gosh. Oh, my back hurt now. Lord. What is going on, my lovely friends? Candace B here. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you are new here, hello, welcome. So glad to have you here today. If you are already subscribed, welcome back. So glad you came back. I appreciate each and every one of you who are watching today, and I hope you are having a great day. I hope you're having a great end to your March. It's officially spring, so I hope wherever you are, it's nice and sunny out. Of course, I live in Canada, so literally a couple days ago it was 15 degrees and now we're expecting a snowstorm. So that's just life, you know, but Candace is going on vacation soon, so we don't have to worry about that. Y'all, I am drinking my green smoothie that I made, you know, with some ginger and mango straight from Jamaica, some cucumbers. We just vibe, and spinach, like just, you know, we want to detox, like I said, because we go on vacation. So we just gotta prepare our mind, body, and soul. But I am back today with another Forex related reaction video. And today we are going to be reacting to the one and only Mr. Wicks Don't Lie. I know you guys know Rakeel. Well, I don't know how many of you guys do, but I'm assuming a lot of you know. I think he's one of the best traders I personally come across and had the ability to talk to and stuff like that. You know, I've really seen him just really improve from back when he started. We were all kind of in Uncle Ted's little Facebook group, and then, you know, just to see how far he is now and how successful he is, that's really great. So shout out to him. And the video that we're going to be reacting to today is called My Forex Journey from a $200 Trading Account. So that's going to be really interesting to see, because I know a lot of people are always asking traders, you know, oh, how much did you start with and all that good stuff. Even though it doesn't make a difference to your trading journey, I know people are curious. Me personally, I started with $500, y'all, and I thought that was not that much, but $200, that's definitely not a lot of money. So very curious to see what he talks about today. But please don't mind my glasses as well. They are still crooked. I am still in the process of getting them fixed. I was just too lazy to put on contacts. But enough of me blabbering, you guys. Go ahead and scroll down, hit that like button before we start this video. I would really appreciate it. And while you're down there, you might as well subscribe, stay a while, hang out with your girl, all that good stuff, blase. But that being said, let us get into this video.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is your host Raja Banks from New York Station live streams. Now, my trading journey goes back to April 2016. My first account was at IC Markets. We've moved on to Dominion Markets now. My first account was a $200 account in April. And I mean, hey, as we all know, when you start your first account, you know, in trading, you can make a lot of money. You can do this, you can do that. It was a $200 account. Needless to say, I blew it, right? Then
Not the rhinoceros long sleeve. Why does that rhinoceros have a leather jacket on? Rakeel, what's going on, my guy?
I started back up again, took a course, started with around $700. You know, back then we were trading a very simplistic approach, right? Our approach was simple: only trade the 4-hour candles. Now, before we did that, read on babypips.com and all those websites, right? And the simplistic thing was to buy support and sell resistance. That's it, right? So back then when we first started, this was our approach, our raw approach towards trading. So here's what would happen. We would look at the 4-hour candles, because obviously when you're looking at the high time frame, like the 4-hour candle, you know, 1-hour candle, we know that if the 4-hour zones are there, and when the 4-hour candles go to those zones, that's it, to a resistance, there's a very high probability there's going to be some sort of a rejection, price will retrace, and so on and so forth, right? So that was the idea. So we're okay. What time do the 4-hour candles start? 4-hour candles start at, let's say if we're talking about Asian session, let's say when the market starts, it's at 5 p.m. Eastern. Then there's a 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m., so on and so forth, right? So we knew that, okay, every 4-hour candle starts at these times after 4 hours. So our approach was, all right, let's do this. Let's wait for a 4-hour candle to close. We chose, I chose 6 pairs and waited for every 4-hour candle to close.
Dang, that's a lot of pairs, 6 pairs. But I feel like when you're starting out in trading, there's, you know, you're more likely to be trying to test things out. So for you to commit to one pair right off the bat, that's kind of difficult. So I understand why he was trading so many pairs. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I was probably trading everything under the sun. But yeah, that's kind of crazy just to hear like 6 pairs. But mind you, some people still trade that and they're years into their journey. Like, you know, they just trade multiple pairs. But for me, I think that's like crazy. Like, I can't keep up, you know?
So let's say if you have AUD JPY, right? Australian dollar, and Japanese yen. And if the 4-hour candle is at a resistance, just mindlessly, we'll just say, okay, like, you know, 4-hour candle is at a resistance. Let's take a sell, right? Took a sell, stop loss is 15 pips. And, you know, on a 4.
Yeah, Rakil is known to have like really tight stop losses. I don't know if he still trades like that, but I remember him always just having very like strict stop losses. And I'm like, dang, like you have some discipline. And he's a very patient trader. He's definitely a very patient trader. He's not greedy. Again, this is from like what I've seen. I don't know how he is now because I haven't watched much of his content lately, but he is just not greedy at all.
For our time frames, price is meant to reject that level on, let's say, the 30-minute time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, price would come down, let's say 10 pips, 15 pips, boom, secure profits, call it a day. That's what I did for the first 2 months. Right? For the first 2 months, started with a $700 account, grew it up to $5,500 in the first 2 weeks, brought it back down to $600, took it back up to $4,000, brought it back down, and took it back up to like almost like $10,000, $12,000, brought it back down. Now, the reason why the account was coming down was because sometimes I would remove my stop, right? I would say, okay, you know what? I took a sell at a 4-hour resistance. Price has to reject. Right? It has to, but it doesn't have to do what we think, right? Because, like, you know, if we have a bullish trend and the price is breaking resistance and you take a...
Literally what happened in my last video when I did the live trading session, like, especially GJ, when it's in momentum, it don't care about no resistance levels. It really doesn't. It takes a lot for it to, you know, reject it and sustain it. But, yeah, I know we can all relate to the whole removing your stop loss. I know we can all relate to that.
Sell, that's a risky trade in itself because now you're counting on the fact that that resistance will hold, or if you took a buy at a 4-hour support, you're counting on the fact that the support is going to hold and price is going to reject. But sometimes there's so much volume, there's so much trending momentum in that direction that prices continues going negative. And when price goes negative, you're like, man, I'm just going to remove my stop. So when you remove your stop loss, then you're going in infinite drawdown, right? So that's what happened. Now, obviously in the first 2 months, 2.5 months, super profitable, right? Super profitable, took my account to like 12,000 and up and down, up and down. And then a light bulb went in my head, right? And I was like, okay, this light bulb would say, okay, I have people on Instagram that take 50 pips, you know, they take 100 pips, 200 pips, these big, massive gains. So I was like, okay, I want these gains as well. You know, it's an old saying that says that don't fix what's not broken, right? So my strategy, my trading plan to trade on major pairs on every 4-hour candle at a like, you know, strong zone of resistance or support, it was working. But then I was like, no, I need more. I need more pips. And that's what I did. I started learning about, you know, Fibonacci's and trend lines and harmonic patterns, Bollinger Bands, EMAs, and I took all this information and I put it in the charts. What happened when I put it in the charts? You know, disaster. You know, because my strategy was simple. Now I implemented a lot. I implemented like a full-on mixture of 4 or 5 different strategies in my charts and things started to fall apart. They started to fall apart. I would take trades on the 4-hour time frame and I would start managing the trade on the daily or the weekly if it went against me. That's what happens to most of you guys, right? That when you take a trade, it goes in drawdown, you're like, oh shit, this was a scalp trade. And if this was a scalp trade, it's going in drawdown. Let me take a look at the higher time frame. And when you...
Yo, he's speaking facts. It's like, nah, the higher time frames, there's a level there. There's a zone there that it's going to reject. Like, I know I'm going to hold on to it until it gets to that zone and then it's going to reject that. It gets to the zone, blasts through it. Yo, so many times. Man, it's funny to see though, like, the way he's talking now and just how he had greed and lack of discipline when I just finished saying he has so much discipline and like he has no greed. It just goes to show how long, how much improvement someone can make in a certain amount of time. But yeah, very relatable, man.
You take a look at the high time frame is still in your favor and you're like, okay, this was a scalp trade. Now it's a swing trade. You get it, right? So those are the things that really held me back, right? I started to lose and lose and lose. And I think the first year I lost almost like $77,000, almost all of my profits.
Jeez, $70,000 in the first year? Oh my gosh. Oh, my back hurt now. Lord, my back hurt. It'll stress me. That's hectic. Oh my gosh. Why am I feeling like hot now? Like I'm feeling stressed just from hearing that. That's crazy. And he still continued to trade after that. 70,000. Man, kudos to him.
By the end of that year, it was up to like 100,000. I withdrew all my funds and went somewhere else and this and that, but it was just disaster, right? So when those things happen, because you need to understand, when you're going through a consistent losing streak, when I was going through that losing streak, it's a devastating feeling, right? Devastating feeling. You're losing every day. Your morale is down. Your ego's down. You can't tell nobody because no one's going to listen to you. No one's going to actually understand.
No one understands. No one understands. Oh, I'm really feeling the emotions from this video.
What it means to lose money in the markets, right? Better off that you've lost so much. You don't have the balls to tell somebody, hey man, I lost this much in a matter of, let's say, days, weeks, or months, because it's embarrassing. And now, what happened at that point, right? When you're going through a losing streak, when I went through that streak, here's what I did. This is exactly what I did. I looked at all my past wins, right? Anyway, I operated on my, I started investigating my wins, for the lack of better term. I started investigating my wins and started to see why I had these wins, right? What did I do right? Was I securing positions on time? Was my stop loss in place? Was my analysis correct, right? What was going on? Was I trading the pairs that are supposed to be traded in that specific time in this volume? What did I do differently? And I started to understand that, okay, all of my winning trades were taken in high volume times. You have Asian Open, you have London Open, New York Open, high volume times. And when you go into after London close, volume dies down, right? You go after Asian Open, let's say 2-3 hours after Asian Open, volume starts to die down. A couple hours before London Open, volume dies down. So all my losses were in when volume was down. And when I look at it logically, right? So when I looked at all my statements of losses, which I had from IC markets, now we move to Dominion markets, they were all haphazard trades, like trade after trade after trade after trade. So when I was winning, my daily trades were like 3-4 trades, daily trade, 3-4 trades. But when I was losing, my trades were like, 10 trades a day, 15 trades a day. I was using Fibonacci's on the 5-minute time frame. I was using EMAs on the 5-minute time frame, 10-minute time frame, Bollinger Bands on all smaller time frames. It just made no sense. Made no sense at all. So I had to turn things around, because I've lost so much that I said to myself, okay, you know what, Raja Banks?
See, that's the thing. Like, it really does taking that ability to go back and just reassess, investigate why things happen. Because how are you supposed to know how to improve if you don't go back and see, what you've done right, what you've done wrong? I really like the fact that he went and looked at his winning trades, because a lot of us, like even me personally, I'm always like, okay, let me go back to my losing trades and see what I've done wrong. But I like that he went to his winning trades and he looked at what he did right, so he knows to copy that. Because I feel like when it comes to losing trades, it's okay, you try to avoid it from what you've seen, like from the losses that you've already taken, you try to avoid that. But I feel like it's better and there's a higher chance of success, now that I'm thinking about it, if you look at your winning trades, because you just look at those same patterns that you've taken before and just do those, take those trades. You know what I mean? As opposed to always having to remember, oh, let me not take that trade because last time I lost. Instead just, look at, oh, I took that trade before and I won that trade. So let me, take that type of setup again. So if that makes sense, I'm just kind of all over the place, but I totally I really, really like that he looked at his winning trades, and I'm sure he looked at his losing trades, but I like that he pointed out that he looked at his winning trades and figured out, okay, what helped me to do that? Like, what helped me to win? What can I do to replicate that? So that's awesome.
The train of losses has already left the building. You're way far ahead to quit now. And that's what happened. At the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Logically, over trading is not working. Over risking is not working. What I got to do is focus on 1 or 2 trades. It's going to take time, right? It took time. It took 8 months for me to lose almost 6 figures. Now maybe it can take 8 months for me to get consistent, right? And if I can get consistent, my confidence is going to go up. My ego is going to go up. Naturally, my risk is going to go up. And when your risk goes up, your monetary return gets bigger. So that's what I did. I started focusing on 1 or 2 trades a day, 1 or 2 pairs, and things turn around automatically because you start to understand why pairs are moving. You start to understand, like, you know, why certain things are happening at certain times, what news means for certain pairs, and so on and so forth. Right? So it's very simple. So if you're going through like a big drawdown right now, just calm down. Calm down, man, and take a step back. Take a step back and start rationalizing things. Because a lot of us, we get involved in our drawdown so much we can't think clearly. So if you want to think clearly, you got to focus on 1 or 2 trades a day. That's a simple approach. You guys see us do it in the live streams every day. Hope this helps. Take this information in the next week, and inshallah, you're going to have an amazing week, better than the last weeks you've had. Take care.
Love that video. Very, very good video. Short and to the point and just really explained a lot. Kudos to Wix Don't Lie. Kudos to Rakil for just getting to where he's at right now. I know a lot of people use his magic keys. I've yet to buy it, but I know a lot of people are like, man, this is the holy grail. Like, this is the thing, you know? But yeah, I just really appreciate him being authentic and saying, you know, what he went through, because there's so many people that can relate to that. And he showed a way out of that, you know, keeping things simple. And the fact that he stuck to that discipline, stuck to that simplicity and that slow growth. And now look at where he is at now. It's really motivating to know that, you know, you and I, there is nothing that is stopping us from getting to that point, you know, to see that exponential growth. But it takes that slow growth at the start, you know, once you start getting a hang of things, just be patient with yourself. And then, you know, you never know what heights you can reach. So that was a great video. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it and you found value in it. If you did, let me know. Hit that like button. I always appreciate it. And comment down below. Let's talk about this. What do you agree with from the video? What can you resonate with? You know, did you go through those moments where it's like you were trading everything under the sun? You were just trying to catch certain moves. You removed your stop loss. Trust me, I removed my stop loss a lot before. And yeah, so like, it's just not it. And we know that that's not what we're supposed to do, but in the moment it's like your brain gets foggy. So yeah, let's talk about it. Comment down below. And of course, last but not least, do not forget to subscribe so you know when I post another video. And in the meantime, feel free to check out any of my other videos on this channel and my other channel, Candace B TV, where I vlog. But that being said, my friends, until we meet again, I hope you have a successful, amazingly splendid day, week, and life. Bye.